Hello, Reptimus24 here with another video. I just wanted to say what I think is up and coming with the new X-Men era, because of all these titles, yeah, as much as I think, oh no, if they give Spider-Man another ongoing and make it be an X-Men title, I'm sure this will just be a mini or something, because if Radioactive or will be a different character than Peter or Miles, and it might not actually be a Spider-Man. No, I'm just saying, if Radioactive Spider-Man is actually canon to, is actually like an ongoing, and outlasts a lot of these other titles, that will get annoying. But if it's just like a mini, or it's on like or it's like what they did with Uncanny Spider-Man being Nightcrawler, that could be tolerable. Yeah. I'm just going to say some ideas that I think might be up and coming in the Age of Revelation. For starters, and you've got all these you've got the cover for X-Men of Age of Revelation Overture. I think that's Ben Liu. Magneto is constantly been shown like comatose, like really ill, sick, and everything. So I get the feeling Ben Liu is taken up the role of Magneto, and he's just so nobody realizes Magneto is no more, because Magneto is one of the faces of mutant kind. Losing him would be terrible for mutant kind, and I don't think Cyclops would allow that. I feel like Jean Grey is somehow being blocked from Earth, else why would she not be helping Cyclops and his group? I get the feeling someone very close to Wolverine was killed, and he's starting to get like permanent injuries, like whatever's up with that skull face. It looks cool, but I can't think of why that would logically be there. I think Glob Herman's going to have a decent role, and I think they've had to change to be like an owl with their powers and all that. What I do find noteworthy is Zorn is Glob. The two New Mutants, I think, because I don't think that's actually Magneto. I think he's going to be confirmed dead. And Beast are here. Magic is not shown anywhere in the marketing. So either Magic is in one of the other books, and she isn't with Cyclops anymore, and his team. Or, like whatever's going up with Psylocke here, she may have... Psylocke, at least we know, is alive. Magic, we do not. Magic could be dead, and Psylocke could be in another book, or something like that. And I think that's either the empath in the empath character in the new series for I like to say Evel Ewing, or that's Nightcrawler, which is pretty cool. I get the feeling though, something that's going to end up being very relevant, if you'll give me a second though, is like some of the stuff that's being set up in like this and this. Because, what's it? Uncanny, they have the Endling as a major plot point. And I think the Endling is going to be relevant to this. So I think despite... Where's my mouse there? Despite all these titles to begin with, we can have the titles slowly dwindling their way down into just being one book, I think. I think we're going to go through an era of just death. Basically, I think everyone's going to be getting killed off, basically, till we just have the Endling left being... What's it? Give me a second. But with the Endling... Till we just have one of these four left. One of Death, Dream, Ransom, Jitter, and Calico. And we find out who the Endling is. Because this has been like a key plot point in Gail Simone's run. And I think some of like the future predictions that are shown in here might come to pass. Like, I get the feeling we'll see Penance X Monica, whatever name she's going by, I can never remember it. I always get confused by her name. But Red Spiky Lady, basically. I feel like we're going to see her in one of these books. My guess being Unbreakable X-Men, because I think Amazing X-Men be the follow-on for Adjectiveless X-Men with Jed MacKay. Unbreakable X-Men, follow-on for Uncanny X-Men with Gail Simone. Expatriate X-Men be a follow-on for Exceptional X-Men with Evo Ewing. That's how I think they're going to do the 3 X-Men titles. I may be wrong here, because Iron and Frost could be a follow-on to Evo Ewing's one. I could be completely in the wrong here, but those 3 are the ones, are my guesses on what they're following up from. Last Wolverine follows from Wolverine. Laura Kinney Sabretooth follows from Laura Kinney Wolverine. Rogue Storm, I think, is going to be a follow-on to Storm. Iron Frost, I think, is going to be like Iron Man and Emma Frost. I think Radioactive Spider-Man, I'd like to say Nightcrawler. Binary, I think, is either going to be a new character, Monica Rambeau, or Carol Danvers. Potentially actually doing Carol Danvers a decent title. Cloak or Dagger makes me feel like we're going to have some sort of war between Cloak and Dagger coming up. Long Shots, I'm hoping that's on, what's their names? I'm hoping Long Shots is on the amazingly cool characters of Shatterstar and Longshot. Yeah, that's it. There. And maybe has some Richter in there, because Richter was really cool in 2019 Excalibur. I get the vague feeling that if any of if any of them are going to be like following on like X Factor, X Force, NYX, I feel like NYX would maybe be followed by Cloak and Dagger. X Factor could potentially be a Binary or Omega Kids. And X Force, I just get the weird feeling that X Force is going to be what X Avengers is, kind of like taking similar creative teams to. That's just what what my thoughts are. On Deadpool, probably why Cody Ziegler's Deadpool came to such a sudden end. X-Men Book of Revelation, I think, will be where we see a lot of Cypher in this. Sinister Six could also be a follow-up to Exceptional X-Men, so yeah, I'm completely unsure what's going on in that, but yeah. But one thing I do note, where is it? Give me a second while I find my way through this, because there's quite a few like potential futures. I swear I remember there being that potential future thing with Nightcrawler and everything. But yeah, I feel like these characters are going to get their way in here. Like somehow, just somehow these characters are going to be decently there. Where is it? Have I gone past it? Because let's see a taste of the future. Have I genuinely passed it? Yeah, I have genuinely passed it. I should probably have like prepared like tabs in here or something, so I would have got this seat quicker. In the meantime, I just want to pause and say I think Beast might have found the cure to the mutant aging thing, and that's why he's white. Like that was his cure. I find it funny if they brought Uva back. Uva? Yuva, whatever. I think it'd be funny if they bring her back to be like a major character out of nowhere, because she is in the era. She's one of the New Mutants for the era, but yeah, no one's doing anything with that New Mutant. But yeah, no. Glob looks awesome. I am really struggling to find this. But there is a panel where you might or might not know, which shows a alternate version of Nightcrawler, a female Cyclops. It's not the first issue, I know that. I am really not good at this. I'm sorry if this is an annoying video. I will. First of all, there's this panel which has had a lot of predictions of what has shown up later on in the series. Obviously, that's the Hag. And before you complain, no, that is genuinely the character's name. I am not trying to be rude or anything with that. I'm hoping they because there's been so much set up for Jubilee being gradually more powerful, and recently they were set up for Shogo as well. So I get the feeling Jubilee is going to get a decent role in this, even if she's yet again a character that dies, because I think everyone's going to die. I believe Jubilee will get a relatively big role. And I think the X-Men are going to be even more factioned than they already are between these two factions of Uncanny and regular adjectiveless player. I am not word editing right today. Oh well, it's still just the morning. But yeah. Give me a moment. But yeah. I'm still shocked they were able to do this to Wolverine. Crazy moment. I think it was near the upper page. But yeah, there are so many important moments in these comics that just get overlooked. Am I gonna have to look up what? Ah, no, I found it. But no, look. That is Charles Xavier wearing Magneto's helmet. So potentially they're hinting at Charles Xavier taking Magneto's role, which I think Ben Liu makes more sense. There is Nightcrawler with 4 arms, which could potentially be upcoming in this new thing. There's a younger female Cyclops. And the robot dogs kill Colossus. That are like the 4 things it shows. Honestly, I think that could be hinting to like quite a few major players getting thrown off the table. The replacement, a different person being under Magneto's mask in this era. Potentially, a lot of the old generation mutants like Cyclops, Beast, Angel, Wolverine, Psylocke, becoming legacy titles and new characters taking their mantles. And I think more secondary or tertiary mutations are going to start coming in for all the characters. I think that is stuff that they're hinting at. Because I think Harvey X is meant to be a warning for what was to come, which was completely overlooked because people were too busy going, oh, it's a new era, whoa, this era is not as good as the current era, blah, blah, blah. When in reality, this era has been pretty good. Don't get me wrong. I've read not much the era, being these. Then I have in singular issue format, like some of Dazzler and Mystique. But honestly, I'll probably get the trade paperbacks at some point. I've just not got around to that at the second. But yeah, honestly, this era has some pretty good titles. X-Men is a bit up and down, like on how much I like each issue. It goes from issue to issue. X-Force, the first 4 issues, amazing. I kind of just was like meh for issue 5, but the first 4 were amazing. So I'm excited for the second volume because overall that was my favorite one, even if I didn't like issue 5. And Uncanny X-Men, it was good all round, even if it's only like second on the one I have trade paperbacks of. Dazzler is pretty good. Mystique is not for me, but Dazzler's pretty good as well. I would probably go out of what I've read of the new Kokona, X-Force, Uncanny X-Men, Dazzler, then X-Men, then Mystique. Out of the 5 titles I've read, would recommend them. But yeah, no, I think we've been set up so many major things happening here. I think amongst the things set up, we could potentially see Forge still on his mad pursuit of that orb thingy. There may be something in Volume 2 that I don't know about, which debunks that. But potentially Forge is still on his pursuit for fixing everything. I think X Factor like disbanded but stayed as a group. So potentially X Factor's still around. Or X Factor's like early on got murdered off or something. We could see Deadpool becoming King of Monster Island again. I wouldn't put it past Deadpool. He's the wild card in this. Never know what to expect. But yeah, no. It's crazy this whole era is. I think most definitely I'm getting Unbreakable, Sabretooth and Long Shots, I feel. Those are ones I definitely feel like I want. X-Men Books of Revelation and X-Vengers are probably the other two. Because I normally set myself to about 5 titles each for X-Men at a time. That is my limit. Anything over 5, I think is slightly too many. As, like, what's it, the current era, I got Excalibur, X-Men Fantastic Four. I went back and got Cable. He wasn't one I got at the time. Empire X-Men I got at the time. Because this was me getting into comics at the time. Hellfire Gala I got at the time. I got the other Hellfire Gala at the time. Sabretooth I think I went back for. X-Corp I know I went back for. Bishop War College I got at the time. Did not like that book. Knights of X, Vogue Gambit, Cats in Britain, Betsy Braddock, Uncanny Avengers, Uncanny Spider-Man, Children of Art, and Cable United We Fall I got at the time. I did get Exterminated at the time, but that's in single issue format, so it's not up on the shelf. But yeah, to see that was when I got into comics. Everything past that is what is mostly stuff I got at the time. Like No Surrender, if you can get it. But yeah, I mean I've got some of that. Blah blah blah. I do have some other books I got at the time. Like I got The Dark Knights of Steel at the time, and would recommend, and Dawn of X to get me into Konoha. But yeah, no, sorry, I've gone on a tangent. Sorry, but yeah, no. I think those are going to be the 5 titles I'm most excited to see what comes from. But it really depends what creative teams, what kind of stories they're telling. Really, I'm gonna wait to find out more before I lock those down as my 5 titles. But to be fair, they are. Unbreakable X-Men is probably locked in as a title no matter what. But Long Shots, Laura Kinney Sabretooth, X-Vengers, and X-Men Book of Revelation could end up being, I don't know, Radioactive Spider-Man, Rogue Storm, Binary, and Amazing X-Men, for all I know, in the end. But yeah, I am really excited for the new Kokona. Not the new Kokona, the new Age of Revelation era. But yeah, I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I've been back to Monster 24, and this has been another video. Adios.